Hello everybody, I am Hoarder Gamer, and this is Hoarder's Comic Flex. It's good to see you all. We've got a few books that we're going to be reviewing. We're going to talk about the future of books, as in like 7 days away. Not like super far, just like a week in the future. We're also going to talk about toys as we toy around a bit. And we'll talk a little bit about TV. So we have a packed episode. Packed. And I hope you all are looking forward to it. We will begin with a really big book that came out today. Christopher Priest, well known for being one of the big writers on Black Panther. So here's Black Adam. And basically, Black Adam, he's not in the best way. He's kind of dying. And looking for a successor. And his son is not meant to be the successor. So that's pretty interesting. And there's something going on with his son where he might be against his father, although it could be because, you know, Black Adam was a villain, and only recently did he like work with the Justice League and try to stop the Dark Crisis from happening. So yeah, I'd say this is a very good book. It was confusing though, because there's scenes with a certain character, or a couple panels, with a certain character, and you're like, wait, does Black Adam see this person? Are they actually there? What is happening exactly? So there's a moment like that, and then there's a character who's introduced, and you don't understand how he connects to everything, and you only find out on the final page of the book. So it's good, but I did find it to be confusing. Now, part of that's going to be I don't have the most familiarity with Black Adam, with Kondak, any of the other elements of, well, even a lot of elements of Shazam, I'm not that ultra familiar with. So, yeah, it was good. I like it. It's 1 of 12. Now, what's interesting, though, is it didn't say limited series on the book I got. So I don't know if they changed their mind or if it's still a limited series and only the non-variant books say 1 of 12. I don't know. This might be what they call old trade dress. Trade dress is everything that is not the main art. So it's the DC Bug, it's the UPC, all of that. That's trade dress. So maybe it's different now. I do not know. It's cool, though. I don't know if reading this one issue would make anyone be like, I need to run out and get the remaining 11. I'm going to check out and see what issue 2 is like. I'm guessing that'll be really cool, and it'll probably make more sense. Lord Adam, as he likes to be called, Black Adam's son, is kind of a dick. And like this rich, wealthy, well, he goes by Lord Adam, so that gives you an idea what he's like. But yeah, I like this first issue. It did not blow me away. But I liked it. I thought it was good. This is not like connected to the movie at all. There's like synergy because it's a new series, right? Coming out right around the time of the movie, but it's not connected directly to that. It doesn't look like The Rock is Black Adam in this book, which is something they do. Something the comics a lot of times will have like changes to character designs and things like that to match the films. So that's something that does happen. So that's our first review for today, Black Adam #1. Does anyone have any questions on it at all? If we don't have any questions on Black Adam, then we get to TV. We get to television. And we're going to start with Obi Wan Kenobi. I decided what I'm going to do is have a little on Obi Wan Kenobi and a little bit on Ms.Marvel, because Obi Wan Kenobi only had, as of, right now, it's done. Okay, but I'll be talking about episode 5, not episode 6. I'll do that next week. I'll also be talking about episode 2 of Ms.Marvel. We'll be talking about both of those things. Obi Wan Kenobi's penultimate episode, so episode 5, was awesome. It was really good. Vader fans probably enjoyed it a lot. You found out that Reva was, and this was something a lot of people guessed ahead of time, Reva was one of the younglings at the Jedi Temple when Vader came with the clone troopers during Order 66. And she was able to get out and survive, and ever since then, she's wanted revenge on Vader. And that's her whole driving thing. Here's the problem with this, though. She is hell-bent on revenge and doesn't care if innocent people die or are tortured, and will happily torture a little girl if it means getting to Vader. So Reva is not what I would call a hero. I mean, maybe could become an anti-hero or something like that, depending on how things go in the final episode. But so Obi-Wan realizes that while he's on this planet trying to get away and give time to all these other people that have been sworn to protect the remaining Jedi, trying to get off this planet on a ship. Well, Reva's there with, not clone troopers, like stormtroopers, and trying to get in this massive door, and there's a conversation between Obi-Wan and Reva where Obi-Wan realizes that Reva's using him to bring Vader there, and that Reva wants to kill Vader. It's not an issue she has with Obi-Wan. He's just a pawn in her getting to Darth Vader. So that part's really cool, and then it's pretty tense because the stormtroopers are trying to get in every which way, to get through this gate and all this, and all Reva has to do is just take her lightsaber and shove it through the door and just slice the door like it's butter. Similar to what you saw in Phantom Menace, where the Trade Federation is trying to stay away from the Jedi. It's real similar to that. Let's see, what else was really good in the episode? Excellent confrontation between Reva and Vader. It's quite tense. And Obi-Wan has this really clever idea. In order to get away, they have an empty ship, a larger one, in front, and that looks like the one that's going to be taking off. So they basically rig that ship so it goes and tries to get away, and Vader grabs it with the Force, holds it, and then brings it down, and then uses Sith Force energy or something to just start shredding the ship. And you're like, oh my god. Well, turns out there's a much smaller ship behind it, and it has these using a great deal of energy and the Force in order to shred a giant ship. They're able to get away. They go into hyperdrive, and they're gone. And he's not happy. Lord Vader is not happy. Also, Lola has been tampered with by Reva, and there's a restraining bolt on Lola. And apparently we find out restraining bolts are not just so droids can't get away, they can have programming in them too. Because now Lola is evil Lola. So the little droid that looks like a giant ladybug is now slightly evil, and goes and damages the security system, so if his door shuts and they can't get out initially. This happens much earlier in the episode, but then Leia is trying to figure out what's going on, and actually has to confront and face off against Lola and, stop her little droid friend, pet, whatever you want to call it, from, like, being evil. And she sees the restraining bolt and she removes it. So very clever, very clever. But yeah, Obi Wan Kenobi episode 5 was really good. Again, we call this the penultimate episode because it's the second to last. And right now there's differing information. Some of it is saying that this was a limited series of 6 episodes, and then there's other sources saying that there's a second season. That supposedly they took the limited series name off or something, and now people are thinking there'll be a second season. Plus, Ewan McGregor said he's down for a second season. So now I have actually seen episode 6, but we're not going to talk about it till next week. What I will say is it's very good. I will not say what happens in it, but it was good. It was good. I was very happy with this entire series. It accomplishes a lot in 6 episodes. It basically feels like a big epic Star Wars movie. Because the episodes aren't an hour, they're more like 30 or 40 minutes. Well, most of them are. So it just feels like a really long Star Wars movie. Now we're going to talk about Kamala Khan. I have not watched today's episode yet, so I don't even have to worry about bringing up anything in that episode. But here we have... They're not S.H.I.E.L.D., they're not the police. I don't know if we know exactly who they are yet, but a group is very interested in what Kamala was doing when she saved Zoe. And they do track it down to Bruno. And they like bring him in and they interrogate Bruno. And yeah, so like everything's getting very serious now. And these visions keep happening. Like Kamala had these visions of what really looked like Kree. I don't know if they are or not. But like in the first episode, there's like these visions, and she has more of these visions. This time focusing on a specific woman. Okay? And she gets hunted down by this, again, not sure if it's military, quasi-police, what exactly it is, but she gets hunted down, and she ends up using her powers to save a kid who's about to fall during a celebration. Another really cool thing with this episode is we get to see Kamala's faith. She is actually at the mosque, and we find out about her friend and how her friend actually wants to be one of the leaders of the mosque, but unfortunately there's a bit of ageism and a bit of sexism where that may not be a possibility for her friend. It was a very good episode. I very much like it, and sadly, apparently the ratings have not been great for it. Now, by ratings, I'm not saying like A, B, C, or D. I'm talking about like how many people are watching the show compared to other Disney Plus shows or Star Wars series on Disney Plus. Of Marvel shows or, anything like that. Now, it could be because it's also on the same time that Obi-Wan is happening. They might have been better to have it spaced out, to have their big show, and then when that's over, another big show comes over, and takes over. Now, you could always, like, piggyback. You could have, like, the final episode of Obi-Wan, and then on that day, have the first episode of Kamala Khan, Ms.Marvel, first episode of Ms.Marvel. You could do it like that, right? That one would affect the other 5 episodes of Ms.Marvel. Unfortunately, too, there's some level of racism involved, which is really sad. That's an issue the comic book faced, too. Having a comic book character that is a Pakistani as well as Muslim ruffled some feathers, sadly enough. But I think it's a really good show. And Iman Vellani is phenomenal as the character. She is just like, as I said, I think last week, she's the kid sister you wish you had if you've never had a kid sister. Like, just, full of life and just so optimistic before, life comes and, crushes you when you become an adult type of thing. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I'll be watching the third episode of Ms. Marvel. That'll be probably tonight I'll watch it. Because I'll be talking about it then next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, then, we'll be talking about should be the third episode of Ms. Marvel and the final episode of Obi Wan Kenobi. And then with Obi Wan Kenobi, we'll bring it all home and basically talk about, the previous episodes and how it all was as a whole thing. So, yeah. Everybody, that was our television talk, okay? Now in Hoarder's Comic Flex, we're going to toy around a bit. I hope you will toy around with me. Okay. Wham! Look at this. Look at this beautiful SOB. Apocalypse. Okay? Not only is it Apocalypse, it's basically the coloring from the 90s cartoon for Apocalypse. And the sculpt is somewhere between the cartoon and the comic. And I think it's phenomenal. It does have a phenomenal price, though. This is a 6-inch scale figure, but I think he's actually going to be probably more like 8 inches or so, because he's going to be in scale with the other figures in that series, right? And he's big. This is a huge piece of plastic. Comes with multiple heads. I think he comes with multiple hands. Look at those hoses that are in his arms that connect to his back, I believe. Yeah, they connect to his back. It's a really cool figure. Also, the head is like jointed, so you can actually like move the neck and everything. I really like this. So retail on this is $38.99, so right around $40. But he's big. He's big. He's like, I'd say probably going to be like around 2 pounds, like that Hulk figure is. They did a Hulk in this same scale. And it's gigantic. Like the arms on the Hulk figure are the size of a regular Marvel Legends figure, like the waist and all that. It's nuts. It's pretty crazy. So this is a lot bigger than it looks right here, and I think it's a really cool take. And I'm a big fan of Apocalypse. It's a character that's always interested me. I've always liked the design of Apocalypse. You never know quite what he's up to. You just know to be scared of what it is. So yeah, Apocalypse there, Marvel Legends. And he's available, you can pre-order him at like Entertainment Earth and all these other stores. It's not like a limited thing through Hasbro Pulse. But there's that right there. And unlike the comics, you can just shrink him down like that and just hide him behind here, see? Much safer. Much safer. Next up. Hold on. I'm so sorry about that. I thought I had something else there, but I do not. Soundwave. This one does not turn into a tape recorder, even though it looks like he probably would. Right? Look at him. He turns into a ship. This is a larger transformer. He's going to be, I believe, $44.99. And pre-orders just started for him recently. I like it. I mean, I'm not huge on the fact that he turns into a ship. I prefer the G1 Soundwave. It turned into a cassette recorder. Also, because he doesn't turn into a cassette recorder, he doesn't have, I think, any cassettes that come with him. None of the pictures showed any, and you don't see any inside his chest. Now, I'm guessing that chest opens to accept the cassette, because you can get those separately, but I don't even know that for 100% certainty. But it is cool looking. Like, the design is really cool. I like what they did. You know, it definitely looks like Soundwave, at least in robot form. Okay. And we'll put Soundwave away right here for a little bit. G.I. Joe, a real American hero. Duke and Ram. Now, I love the G.I. Joe classified line. However, I mentioned to save money as well as enjoy the thing I loved when I was a kid, but as an adult now, I just get the bad guys. I just get Cobra characters. Okay? So for me specifically, this doesn't do much. The Baroness with bike, that was awesome. That's great, and I'm happy to have that. But Duke and Ram, not too exciting for me. But again, I don't, when I do this show, I'm not just trying to think of myself. I'm thinking of what other people watching would be interested in. And, like, I love the line itself. G.I. Joe Classified's great. The sculpts are great, everything like that. And yeah, I mean, the bike looks cool. This will retail at $44.99 exclusively at Target. Just like Baroness with the bike, Target. They have exclusives for a number of figures. Like, I want to say the Cobra Island series was also Target exclusive. Those were special paint jobs and some special accessories that came with existing figures in the G.I. Joe Classified line. But yeah, that's us toying around. We toyed around for a little bit. That's what we just did. And now, everybody, it is time for us to look into my crystal ball. Okay, we're going to look into my crystal ball, okay? And we're going to see, all about the books, the comic books of next week. Yeah, so 7 days from now. Again, not far in the future, just 7 days, looking at the books that come out. Now, when I'm done talking about the books that are coming out, I'm going to go through real quick about the process of how a show works and how long it takes for me to put one together. Especially now with, like, the images and stuff that you can actually see that I'm moving around. And sometimes, cover this beautiful face. So first off, we are in Pride Month for the LGBT community, of which I am a member. I am bi, in case you didn't know that. M is for Monster by Talia Dutton. Now, this is I saw the artwork and I was interested, right? I was like, okay, that looks pretty wild. And this one woman, her sister passes away really young, and she decides she's going to go the Frankenstein route and bring her sister back. What she finds out is that her sister, who goes by the name M, no longer Mara, which was her sister's name when she was alive, no longer wants to do the things she wanted to do, when she was alive. She doesn't want to go and take the same classes in school, doesn't have the same plans that her sister had with her. And it's basically about both of them coming to terms with that and that they're different people now. And it sounded interesting to me. It sounded really cool. And I believe the creator is LGBT. And M is for Monster comes out next week. There's 2 versions of this. There's a soft cover for $24.99. Or, I apologize. Softcover is $17.99. Hardcover is $24.99. The only issue is this. No, it wasn't meant to be a comic book pun. So, the only problem is this. This might be a hard book to find in your local comic book shop if you don't have it pre-ordered. It's a smaller company, and I have actually not featured this company before, I believe, on Hoarder's Comic Flex. But I think this looks like a really cool book, and I think it's interesting. So I wanted to show this to you all. M is for Monster. Next up, from Aftershock Comics, is M for Mike. M could also be for Mike, of course. Of course M can be for Mike. Would I read a Barry comic book? So, like, would Bill Hader be writing it? If Bill Hader was writing it, yes. Yes, immediately. Immediately. Like, yeah. Yeah, if you're not watching Barry, everybody, one of the best shows on TV. It's on HBO. It is absolutely amazing. It is about a war vet trying to go on with his life and finding happiness in acting. Meanwhile, a duplicitous and self-serving man uses Barry as a hitman and makes money off of him. And it's a really good show. It's really good. But here we have the naughty list. The naughty list has been stolen. And a crazy version of Santa Claus is hunting a serial killer in New York. And believes that possibly something named Rochambeau, which is the first offspring of a troll and human, may have stolen this naughty list. Now, I just found out about this book. I didn't know about this book before. It's on issue 3, so it's not that far in. And I was like, this sounds really interesting. You know, this sounds like this fun. Looking at that picture, right? He's got the fireplace poker that's bloody. And, I mean, that right there, I don't know if that's the serial killer or if that's the version of Santa. I don't know. I don't have those answers. But I was interested, you know. I saw this and I was like, this is neat. Aftershock put out Baby Teeth. And they put out a lot of really good books. So that made it exciting, too. Also, I don't think we focused on Aftershock Comics on Hoarder's Comic Flex either. So I thought this made a lot of sense. But yeah, issue 3, probably be able to get issue 1 and 2. Aftershock is at most LCSs. So I'd say there's a decent chance if they carry back stock, right? But yeah, I expected that to be kind of this adult, Christmas-themed, violent, crazy fantasy book. Just by virtue of having Santa in your book, it's some level of fantasy, right? And Santa hunting a serial killer. It's interesting. Batman Fortress number 2. I love Batman Fortress number 1. Basically, it's what seems like a massive alien invasion of Earth, and Superman's nowhere to be seen. Batman has to get together with the Justice League, as you can see behind him, and they have to be prepared for whatever is going to happen with this alien invasion. What's really cool about issue 1 is that Gary Whitta, who is also the writer of Book of Eli, as well as co-writer of Rogue One, really gets the dialogue of the characters super well, especially between Batman and Commissioner Gordon, and Bruce and Alfred. Like, really awesome. Like, really impressive. So I'm very much liking this limited series. I believe it's 8 issues, if I remember correctly. And yeah, here's issue 2. So of course I had to bring this up. What is the twist? Twist of what? What is the twist of what? Like a Twizzler? Like a dreamsicle Twizzler? We don't know yet. We don't know yet. It seems it is. We haven't seen them, though. We have not seen them. We know that communication has been cut off all across the globe, and we know that something is in the sky. like high up, but we don't know what it is. I don't believe it's a dream. I don't think it's going to be 8 issues that's a dream. And like we also still don't know about Superman. Where is he? Maybe in issue 2 we find out. Who knows? Yeah, I don't absolutely love the cover. The cover's okay, but there's probably going to be a variant cover for it too. But issue 1 was great. So that's why we're talking about issue 2 right there. And here, everybody, we have something big, delicious, and tasty that some of you have been waiting a while for. The Last Ronin hardcover collection. This is all 5 volumes of the Last Ronin story arc. Each one sold, I believe, at like $8, and they were, I want to say 48 to 64 pages. I don't know exactly how long, but they're thicker than regular comic books. This is considered one of the absolute best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stories. Okay? And it like takes place in a dystopian future. There's death, murder. It's violent, but it's considered one of the absolute best turtle stories. And this finally comes out next Tuesday. It is hardcover. It's going to be $29.99. But if you're looking at $8 and 5 volumes, that would have been $40. So it's actually less expensive in this case to get the hardcover of Last Ronin than it is for you to buy each separate issue. You know, unless like volume 1 and 2 were like 6 or something. But as far as I know, they were all 8. All $8. But yeah, this is exciting. I've been looking forward to reading this. I think it's going to be really cool. And it's also exciting if you're looking forward to Armageddon Game, which is the Turtle series starting in August. And the new issue of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the actual ongoing monthly series, also comes out next week. That's the end of that story arc until Armageddon Game. I like last month's issue. That was good. But yeah, Last Ronin is supposed to be amazing. And I definitely wanted to tell everyone here about that because that is one of those collections that I'd highly recommend. And those were... Getting the crystal ball here, the crystal ball. The Books of the Future. Now, I'm going to talk about roughly how long, what it takes to do an episode of this show. Like, it's not really flying by the seat of my pants. The first one was. It's not that anymore, which I like. I like some more structure. I'm not as nervous before an episode anymore, which is really good. But Marvel Comics has had some serious issues with printing recently, pushing books back 2 weeks, a month, in some cases 2 months. And Previews, unfortunately, does not update to the most recent books and most recent releases until like Sunday or Monday. So what I have to do is I go with a version of Previews that just, showed up today, basically talking about in detail what comes out next Wednesday. But Marvel is completely screwed up there. Like, initially I was going to talk about She-Hulk 4. That no longer comes out next week. Gore the God Butcher, Thor Collection. That no longer comes out next week. A lot of these books are pushed back to like mid-July. She-Hulk in specific is mid-July now. So, just to give you an idea. So, the whole process of me doing an episode is Saturday night or Sunday night, I go and I look and see what books are coming out for that actual Wednesday. And I'll have some idea because I looked at it from previous, but it's not up to date really then when I look at it previously. It's somewhat, but not completely, especially in the Marvel situation. So, Friday or Saturday, I do that. And I'll go like to previews.com, marvel.com, dc.com, Dark Horse, Image, those different websites. I'll go to those, and I'll check out all the information there, right? And that's like preliminary, Saturday night or Sunday. Then Monday, I verify like what books. The first is kind of like glancing and like, oh, this, oh, that, write down the name, go with it there. And then on Sunday, it's like usually Sunday night, it's looking at Sunday night to Monday, it depends. What is definitely coming out, unless there's an issue with the actual truck or something, these books will be out. And, this is what's coming out Wednesday, and like I make a list of those books, right? Then on Tuesday and now even Wednesday, I go back to the previews website, and it's updated a bit more. And they list all the indie books now. And I go and I look at that and get all that information and see, what's going on there. Then I look up toys. I look on Twitter, I look at Hasbro, I look at all these different websites to get information about toys that are coming out. And then on, Tuesday night I go and I grab picks. So like I'll go to the different websites and everything, I'll do save as, and I'll get images of the books, the toys, and things like that, and go from there. Now, Wednesday, just as of actually today, is where all the information about the really indie books, like the smaller ones, like M is for Monster, that's when that gets really updated for the next week. So that's when I get that information. And the whole process altogether probably takes about 3 or 4 hours. That's all of it, though. And that's, again, over the course of numerous days. So, yeah. Just to give you an idea what it's like, to put one of these together. But honestly, I was going to talk about 2 or 3 Marvel books and found out today that they're not even coming out until like mid-July or later. So that was interesting. Does anybody have any questions on comics or anything like that? Any books you want me to read? Any books you want me to review? Sentinel, good to see you. How you doing? That's okay, Sentinel. It's also available on demand. You can watch me whenever you want. We are not going to talk about that. No. This is not my channel. I don't want to get into the weeds about that. I know you're talking about what was said in Texas and agreed to. Even more scary, but that's all we're going to say about that. But yeah, we talked about, we had the review of Black Adam. And, we always do more than one review. So we have another one to do. I don't have any artwork for it. I apologize. But I also read Immortal X-Men #3. And this is one of the best X-Men books I've ever read. Kieran Gillen, again, an awesome writer who did an amazing take on Darth Vader for Darth Vader Volume 1. And just a ton of other books, but like that's just one that really stuck out for me. This is all about the relationship, issue 3, between Irene Adler, also known as Destiny, and Mystique and the Quiet Council. And basically, Irene, Destiny, is in a coma. And in this coma, she remembers when she first met Mystique, Raven. And also, she's trying to go through this whole list of different possible realities and futures. And she comes across Nathaniel Essex, Mr. Sinister, and finally realizes what his plan is. In issue 1, I can finally say this now because, like, it's you know, after issue 1, not right when it came out, Mr. Sinister cloned Moira McTaggart. That is a huge issue because Moira McTaggart was the first of the near immortal X-Men. What you found out is that Moira was a mutant in House of X and Powers of X. That's one of the biggest reveals in that story arc. There's a lot, but that's one of them. And she's lived multiple lives and kept the knowledge each time she died of things that worked and didn't work. And basically, it's a really fascinating read if you read House of X, Powers of X, and even the base X-Men book under Jonathan Hickman. It's really great stuff. Well, Mr. Sinister cloned her and is looking to use that ability to his benefit, which is incredibly dangerous. And Destiny realizes this and can't let the cat out of the bag because Sinister is part of the Quiet Council, but still needs to set all this up and know the sobering truth about her relationship with Raven Darkholm, Mystique. It's really good. It's a really good book. The artwork is great. Kieran Gillen is, honestly, I think one of the best comic book writers out there right now. Up there for me with L. Ewing and Donny Cates. Am I going to talk about today's hard-hitting Kenobi? No, we talk about the 6th episode, the final episode of Kenobi next week. Earlier today, we did talk about Kenobi episode 5 and Ms.Marvel episode 2. Episode 2, I believe. Because I think episode 3 of Ms.Marvel's today. Yeah, so next week we would talk about episode 6 of Obi Wan, and then we would do a little bit on Ms.Marvel episode 3. Again, I like to have people have some time to check these things out. Less than a day is crazy to me. Because as of right now, it's less than 24 hours since those episodes dropped. Like, it's over 5 hours from being 24 hours since those episodes dropped. So I can't see doing it that soon. I just can't see it. So again, everybody, any suggestions, any comic books you want me to read or review, any you'd suggest? Again, for me, I would say this is a big one. Don't expect me to review this next week, though. It's a big book. It's a big book. It's a few hundred pages. And then depending on when I would even be able to pick it up next week. But it's going to be probably pretty amazing. Like I said, I heard it's one of the best turtle books out there. One of the best turtle stories. Yes, I reviewed Black Adam #1. Yeah, I reviewed that earlier. So that was the first review. I can bring out the cover. There he is. 1 of 12. Again, I don't know if they changed that because my cover does not say 1 of 12. It just says 1. But yeah. Basically, I'll sum it up real quick. Black Adam is dying and looking for a successor. And his son is a dick. He seems that way. It's hard to say. There could be more going on, but... Actually, now Black Adam is somewhat of a hero. He helped the Justice League against... oh, God, I forget the name of the Pariah. Against Pariah with the whole Dark Crisis situation. So, like, recently the Justice League were killed by Pariah, a super dangerous character that's basically becoming as like almost cosmic power now. And Dark Crisis is also a story of where's Barry Allen. So it's the death of the Justice League, and like if there's anything that can be done about that, and where is Barry Allen. But Black Adam is integral to taking on Pariah and actually fights for the Justice League to try saving them. The Black Adam miniseries, or whatever this is, this limited series, or ongoing, we don't know for sure at this point. This is before that. There's actually an editor's note that says this takes place before the events of Dark Crisis. I can say, because it's really early in the book, Black Adam faces off against the Dark Side, but it's not really Dark Side. We're not exactly sure what's up with it either. Like, there's a character in a panel, and you're like, wait, is that what's going on? But it's not answered. So I'm guessing they'll be very explicit with the answer in the next issue or a few issues from now. Again, I thought it was good, but it didn't like blow my mind or anything. It's interesting that, you know, the idea of a successor. But again, are there any suggestions for books you want me to read or anything you want me to review? Any toy line you want me to look into or talk about? I've had Hasbro. I've had McFarlane. I think we've had Mezco. We've had a number of different companies. Yeah, Black Adam is a complicated character, but I will say that the movie really seems to be trying to sell him as an anti-hero. Like, he's done some pretty crazy evil things. Like, for some it would be a bit of a stretch to believe that. Immortal Hulk is awesome. Do you know what issue you're on, roughly? I still don't even think the final trade is out yet. The hardcover trade. Because they had, I think, like 30 to 40, and it's like 41 to 50, I think, is the end. But yeah, Immortal Hulk is awesome. That was a great run. That's one of the writers I said is one of my favorites currently. L. Ewing wrote Immortal Hulk. All 50 issues of it. Okay, I know roughly where that is. Yeah, it gets mind-blowing, Sentinel. Yeah, it's a weird situation with that book, too. Like, some of the hardcovers are out of print. Like, I think it's Volume 1 or Volume 2 hardcovers out of print now. You can get them in... I think the trades are still available, as far as I know. Like, the paperback ones. But yeah, they're not printing as many hardcovers of books anymore. But yeah, Immortal Hulk is a body horror book done amazingly by L. Ewing. Only issue I have with Immortal Hulk is the artist that I think did most of it has some pretty extreme political beliefs. But this wasn't known until like well, issue 45 or something. And most of the books were already, like, as they say, in the can. Because most professional books are months and months in advance. At least the writing is. Like, usually 3 books ahead, or 3 months ahead is what the writers are at. In case something goes wrong. They have to be ahead of the game. But everybody, I want to thank you all very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I would like to thank Doomkiller HD, as well as the Doom Squad for letting me use their channel here on YouTube for this show. And if you like this, be sure to tell other comic fans about it, you know. I love doing this. We'll have another one next week at 8 p.m. Central. And, yeah. Thank you very much, everybody. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.